We have the special opportunity at Friends of the IDF to speak this morning with Lieutenant Isaac. Lieutenant Isaac will tell you he's got a fascinating background, and he is one of the people who's really the face of Israel in terms of the spokesperson's office. At this point, I want to hand it over to Lieutenant Isaac.
Well, good morning for everybody. My name is Isaac. I'll give a little bit about my background first of all. I'm 27 years old. I was actually born in Mexico, and then my family moved over to Israel. My childhood was pretty much here in Israel, and then they decided to move to the United States. In the United States, I pretty much also grew up. At age 17, I decided to join the United States Marine Corps. In the Marine Corps, I served for 4 years. I was also overseas in the Asian Pacific region doing several operations and training exercises with the military. And my job was actually a military photographer, a combat photographer. After my service in the Marine Corps, I decided to make Aliyah to Israel, move here by myself, get back to my roots, and pretty much, see where I was from, learn the language, get involved with the community, and get back to my roots. And I realized that joining the Israeli Defense Force was a part that you can't separate from, being part of the community and learning it and knowing and getting to know, what it's all about. So I joined the Israeli Defense Force actually under the same job field. I was also a combat photographer here. I'm still a combat photographer here. And pretty much what that job is going out onto the front lines with combat units and telling the story directly from the field. So that means every video or pictures that you see from the Israeli Defense Forces, those are actually combat soldiers going in and telling that story directly from the field. And I could say, during these hard times, we have, the obligation and the responsibility to really tell the story and see what's going on here. And that's what our men are doing. Actually, today we're at a range, and if I can even tell a little personal story on how this whole started for me, on Saturday morning, I was actually in the Dolomites in Italy on my honeymoon. I got married about a month ago with my wife. And as soon as we heard the news, what was going on in Israel, we immediately packed our bags and searched for a flight and got back from the honeymoon so that way I can gear up, get in my uniform, and protect our people. So thank you.
Isaac, can you share with us today's briefing? Some up-to-date news, both on the southern front, the northern front, in terms of any issues vis-a-vis the hostages, the situation with America, the international community. Please share with us what you're hearing.
So as far as of right now, we have 1,300 Israelis that have been killed since Saturday morning. We have 3,900 that are wounded, and these numbers just keep going up. Over 6,000 rockets fired just now. They fired also from Gaza. Before I hopped up on the Zoom, we were actually in the bomb shelter. So there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of moving parts, also in the south, also in the north. But what I can say is that we're doing everything we can to protect our people and to prepare for any contingency, and that we are ready for anything that has to come as far as the Israeli Defense Force. And we're not letting off the brakes. We're really working hard, and that's pretty much what's been going on as far as where I'm working at.
In terms of the rockets that we're seeing now, are you still seeing rockets coming out of northern Gaza, or most of these are coming from further south, not necessarily Gaza City and Khan Yunis, where Israel has taken out some of the infrastructure?
So I'm not exactly sure. I was actually just in the field all day today. I was out with my men on a range. So as far as that concerned, those are the details that I'm not fully aware of. We're in the middle of a lot of things right now. Well, I'm in charge of the military photographers. So we just got back from the field, trying to see what the situation report is. That way we can go back out and see what we can do. But those details I actually don't have in hand. I'm sorry.
Okay. Have you and your team, have you been like Otef Gaza, some of the communities, Kfar Aza, Be'eri, these communities that were the most devastated?
Yes, we've
Can you share
actually.
your reflections, share your perceptions from those experiences?
It's It's truly horrible. Um, Walking there and seeing all the imagery, it's things that are very, if I were to explain what we saw there, I think a lot of people would not want to hear what's been seen there because it's horrific. The smell, the everything is burnt, the cars, and there's a lot of um, you know, dead bodies. It's a very horrific scene, and it's a definition of terrorism. It's a definition of terrorism what we see when we go out there, and and I think although everything and all the hardships, I was telling earlier to one of my friends, Israel is a very small country. We Everybody knows everybody, and after that horrific day, those numbers keep going up, and everybody knows somebody. And if you don't know somebody directly, then you know somebody that knows somebody that has been lost or that has been killed, and with all the hardship, that's also what fuels us because we know what we stand and what we believe in and what we're fighting for, and that's currently what we're focused on is our responsibility and our duty to stand up and protect our people, and and um and that's truly what we're doing right now.
What can you share with us about the northern border?
As far as the northern border, I know that currently there have been also evacuations from Sderot and also from northern Gaza, which actually it's been very complicated for the people in northern Gaza to evacuate southern because Hamas is actually preventing them from evacuating as well. So that's something that we are really confronting with because we want to minimize civilian contingencies and still be able to attack Hamas and prevent those terrorist attacks.
The question I have for you is, we're reading and we're understanding that over 20 communities in the northern Galilee now have been, not just Metula, which 2 days ago was turned into a military zone and all civilians were told to leave, but at this point, there's over 20 communities that have been evacuated from the Lebanese border. Can you share with us some information on that?
Yes, that is correct. Those they have been currently evacuated. We're also seeing some missiles. As far as yesterday, there was also a soldier killed and several wounded from missile fire from the Lebanese border. And yeah.
I want to thank you very much, Lieutenant Isaac. Thank you for sharing with us and sharing and briefing with us. And obviously, through your lens and through your cameras, the story of this war will be told. We want to, first of all, wish you mazel tov on your marriage. And
Thank
please,
you.
God, you'll be able to have a true honeymoon when there's a time of peace for the Jewish people, peace for Israel. But we thank you very much for reaching out.
Thank you.
Major General Padan, any thoughts that you have, anything that you're hearing?
So I would just add that from strategic point of view, we're dealing with things that are bigger than the friction that we see at the south. As horrible as it was, we're dealing with effort of Iran to push us out of this homeland in the Middle East. So if somebody has question about it, you could see the publish of the Iranian minister yesterday that tried to set the condition to negotiation about the people that been captured and kidnapped by the Hamas in Gaza. He is the one that led it. So it left nothing, I mean, no question marks afterward if the Iranian are part of it or not. The other issue is that there is huge threat that the Iranian and with their proxies, with their other proxies, with the right side, the way to put it, will become part of this war. We saw what happened last day along the border with Lebanon. You already been mentioned that Israel gave order to all the villages and the settlement along the border between Israel and Lebanon to evacuate, and the IDF getting ready welcome Hezbollah if it will decide to open or to become part of this war. So there is an ongoing, very fragile strategic tense and situation between Israel and the border of Lebanon and the militia, the Shia militia in Syria as well. We have to mention it. So that's one thing that while dealing with part of what happened right now in the U.S. with the support and maybe the visit of the president of the U.S. next Wednesday are part of this strategic issue that everybody dealt with. There are other issues is how to continue with the war in the South, taking our consideration that we have 199 civilians, elders, babies, women, and men that under the custody of this terror organization, and they're hiding somewhere inside Gaza Strip, and we have to take it in our consideration. We heard about negotiation behind the scene to try to at least release the eldest people, the women and the children. But nothing happened yet, and nothing decided yet. Everybody are in rush to use the window that we have right now between the Air Force strike in Gaza and probably the ground maneuver, which is the next phase of this war, to use this window to get to some kind of agreement to release at least as I mentioned, the eldest people, the women and the babies. The last thing that I can share with you is our effort. You know, hundreds of people call me and call other to try to send equipment to the IDF and help the IDF get ready to the next phase. I don't know if you saw everything that's public in the paper and the media in Israel the last day about thousands of ceramic vests and other equipment that didn't pass the check of the IDF. That not only that are not good, they actually put soldier in risk. They're not stopping bullets, so someone could wear it and feel protected and put his life under risk crossing the border in Lebanon or here in Gaza Strip. So we are trying to be focused and think that the IDF ask for and help the effort to get ready and win this war. We're still having hotline between the headquarters and the leadership of the IDF and our office in Israel, keep coordinating things. I don't want to speak about number, but we gave the IDF significant support with medical equipment that needed for what's going on right now, and definitely will be needed at the next phase of this war. We have visited most of the bereaved family, and we are gonna finish visiting the bereaved family today. And we're visiting and supporting the wounded soldier and the families. And I must tell that our volunteers going from one family to another give all the support and the love that they can. And if we see that somebody need extra support, we are there for them and respond immediately with support. For example, we've sent catering and food to bereaved family that could not finish by themselves and hosting everyone at the Shiva this week. And we're doing a lot of things behind the scene to support the families and the soldiers. We'll keep coordinating with the IDF. We'll keep sending lists that been approved by the IDF to our guys here in New York. And we're doing as much as we can to send spiritual support, love, and equipment that the IDF really need.
Major General Padan, thank you. And thank you for this update. Thank you very much.